Hey there, welcome to the Tournament Center. Marshall Sutcliffe. I've got Randy Buehler with me, and we've got a draft viewer set up for the first draft of Fate Reforged Cons at the Pro Tour here. It's Luis Scott-Vargas, and looks like we've got a little table graphic here to get the table set to see who is where at the table. And Luis is sitting next to former Rookie of the Year Felipe Tapia Becerra and teammate Sam Pardee.
Yeah, no, that's worth mentioning. There's actually 3 members of this new Channel Fireball face-to-face games. They got together to test for this Pro Tour, so Luis and Sam are teammates for kind of the first time. And then, of course, Josh Utter-Layton, longtime teammate of Luis's.
Yeah, they can see him across the table. Why don't we take a look at what Luis saw here on his opening. So here's Luis. Looks like he's got a little injury there, maybe too many drafts preparing.
He's fresh off a Grand Prix win last weekend, right?
Yeah, he is. So let's take a look at what he opened. I see that there's an Aven Surveyor there, one of my favorite cards in the set, but there's also some competition here with Valorous Stance as well as Orc Sure Shot. What do you like here, Randy?
Valorous Stance has really impressed me every time I've seen it. It can kill a creature, it can save a creature, it's only 2 mana. I think he's trying to look at the colors. The fact that it's a Jeskai Sage might make white a little better than blue here. Orc Sure Shot can also do some serious damage. What there's not in this pack is the slam dunk rare that you're hoping to open in a Fate Reforged pack.
And that you have a pretty good shot to open as well. We have seen quite a few very, very good cards. He goes for the Valorous Stance. Being in white's generally pretty good. A lot of good white cards both in Fate and in Cons.
Blue's also a fine color too.
Yep.
So.
Also, blue
Orc Sure Shot, that's a reason not to take Orc Sure Shot maybe. Black is kind of middle of the pack. Red's probably the worst color.
It's true. All right, so let's take a look at this next pack. Just for white, wow, he gets shipped to Sandstep Outcast.
Yeah, that is almost certainly the best white common in the set and among the best commons, full stop.
Yeah, pretty easy pickup for here. It's a little early to start talking signals. Is the rare still in this pack? I am not seeing it, so who knows? You know.
Yeah, the Harsh Sustenance is going by. That's a card that you want to kind of keep an eye on. Somebody's going to wind up very happily in that white-black archetype.
Yes. You'll see Harsh Sustenance played in both Obzon and just white-black. There's a Lotus Path Djinn. Interesting, you know, we saw Luis win the GP with his teammates, and he was playing red-blue a lot over the course of the weekend.
Basically a red-blue prowess archetype.
Kind of a combo deck. It finished with Teamer Battle Rage, and he did 20 in one turn with it. But it looks like he's fine taking the more powerful white cards here and passing the really good blue cards.
But he has to know that he's passed those blue cards. Like, I would definitely be shying away from blue if I was Luis here.
Here's an interesting one. He's found a Channel Harm. What do you make of Channel Harm?
Well, it's great. There's also a Soul Summons in this pack, which is a nice 2-drop. Like, it rounds out the mana curve so nicely that that's the debate, right? Do you want the 2-mana card or do you want the 6-mana card?
Right.
You would play both of them in your white deck, and it's really a question of, I mean, Channel Harm is very powerful when you get to resolve it. The problem is if you say go with 6 mana untapped, people at this level of play at the Pro Tour, they know something's up, and they're going to try to figure out what trick you have and try to play around it. And yeah, he's going with the sort of safer pick.
The solid pick, yeah.
The solid pick. It's good. It's a 2-drop. There's not an infinite supply of 2-drops. There kind of are an infinite supply of expensive combat tricks. None of them are as good as Channel Harm, but I like that pick.
All right, so next, let's see if he keeps the great white cards flowing here.
Dragon Bell Monk's in there.
Yeah, there's a Dragon Bell Monk, a solid 3, maybe not a great card. There's a Jeskai Barrier, a card you can get some pretty cool use out of. It looks like he's pulled somehow Gurmag Angler to the front. Is that what he's thinking about taking?
He's looking at it. I mean, 5/5 is big, and Delve is, I mean, it's kind of free. I like Gurmag Angler.
All right.
He apparently likes Gurmag Angler a lot too.
He must love it.
Yeah, that is, not everybody likes the big mouth. I mean, some people will just ship them and they're like, hey guys, 7 mana. It's not 7 mana, right?
Right.
He's like 4 mana,
no,
5 mana.
A lot of people don't, yeah. The zombie fish doesn't always make it, but Luis is actually ready to break rank here and move into black for it. And 3 good options here for him as well. There's Obzon Sky Captain, a Typhoid Rats, and a Scoured Barons for Luis.
Yeah, that's a tricky pick. He clearly moved into black. He must like black. I haven't seen super strong signals. Like the Harsh Sustenance was like a 3rd pick?
2nd.
Yeah, so that's not really a signal when it's that early in the pack.
No.
So Sky Captain can stay in white, but yeah, if he does want to go into black, Scoured Barons or Typhoid Rats would be reasonable. I like the Sky Captain pick. I mean, I think he doesn't know that he's black.
Right. Sky Captain's been very solid too from what I've seen.
I mean, at 4 mana 2/2, it's not great, but it's not really a 2/2, right? It usually leaves 2 counters behind when it dies. Wow, Lotus Path Djinn still here.
Wow,
and
this
Jeskai Sage.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for Luis to get away from. I think he is partial to blue anyway after the Grand Prix, and he has done a lot of testing in between, and that could have changed his mind.
You think the Grand Prix is when LSV became partial to blue? LSV's been partial to blue since the
Yeah.
card Island was printed.
I meant it less as a general comment, but your point stands. And he does, in fact, take the Lotus Path Jin. That is quite late for that card. You know, comparing that to like the Sky Captain, for example, the
Right.
Jin does a lot of work.
I agree. Yeah, I do think he knows he's passed a couple blue cards, but I mean, if it's that open on his right, then
Wow.
fine.
And here's right into Bean as well.
Wow, Bathe in Dragonfire is still here. I mean,
Wow.
I know red is widely considered the worst color, but that is a premium removal spell.
That is
It's
absolutely.
probably the best red common, right? What's better?
Heel Cutter.
Maybe. Okay,
Yeah.
it's in the top couple.
But it's right there.
I like Bathe
And
better than
Bathe
Heel
might
Cutter.
even just be better.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's shipping it. Somebody, it's
He's not buying it.
no. He's like, I don't want to be red. Somebody else can take the red bullet. That's a bold pass there.
Yes.
I mean, because he could wind. I mean, there will be Mardu gold cards in the next pack. He could
Totally.
slip into Mardu here. Doesn't really have the mana fixing for it, I guess.
All right, here's a right into Bean for Luis. Assuming that he wants to move over. Wow, a very late Whisper of the
Yeah.
Wilds as well.
I don't-
That card has been performing quite well.
And Ethereal Ambush. It's a
Ethereal
solid-
Ambush is solid too, yeah.
Yeah. but
Unfortunately, Ethereal Ambush just doesn't go with his white cards.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
Being
He's going to be
banned.
banned.
Yeah.
Well, right now he's Esper.
Yeah.
He's really blue-white.
He's really blue-white.
His black is just one speculative
Yeah.
angler. Jeskai Sage?
Yeah.
I mean, if he was red, the Cunning Strike might be tempting here, but
Sure.
I
Yeah.
mean, he hasn't taken any of the red yet, so I think he just Jeskai Sage.
I think so too. Yeah, none of the white cards are tempting to him in this pack, so he can move on.
How high are you on the Sage?
Medium.
Yeah, it feels,
I think the Emissary is a little better.
at this point in the draft, though, it's a pretty solid pick.
Very nice pickup. It will make the cut for his deck most likely, and that's nice.
Now, Jeskai Rune Mark is actually a decent card at this point. You're late in the pack. It's +2/+2 and flying in a blue-white deck.
Yeah.
I would Rune Mark here, but I mean, it's risky, right? You putting an enchantment on your creature is always kind of a scary thing, and Luis does not seem remotely interested.
Not at all. He went for
It-
Sibsig Muckdraggers instead.
Yeah, it feels like there are people who will play a Rune Mark, and there are people who just are not interested in any of them.
I know where I stand.
Now, Jeskai Rune Mark is by far the best.
That
Rune
is the
Mark.
best one.
I'll
It
play,
turns your random 2-drop in the late game into something that must be dealt with.
right,
Which is a lot to say.
or
'cause
takes
usually,
your takes your fatty and sends it to the air.
Yeah. No, it does have some upside for sure.
Luis not interested. Now, Obzon Rune Mark.
Sure.
You can play
he can't
the other
even
Rune Marks.
activate it. I mean, I guess if he plays the black cards. So we're winding down the end of the pack here,
Clearly.
but I have to say, you know, Luis seems to be in a pretty good position here. He's speculated in a couple of different colors. Is that a Fierce
It
Invocation?
is which is a totally playable red common.
Totally.
Like an above average red common with
Yes.
3 cards left in the pack.
It's actually performed pretty well for me. Defiant Ogre, less so.
Yeah, no, not so much.
So that's going to do it for pack 1 for Luis. Rate him. What do you think? How do you think he's doing here? He's kind of got a few feelers out, but he's base
B
white.
minus. I mean, I'm happy with the cards that he's picked, but like the raw power of this deck isn't. No, this deck's pretty good. Like he first picked Valorous Stance. It's not a rare, but it's a good uncommon. He read that blue is open on his right and kind of moved in after passing some blue.
Yeah, he
So, I
picked
mean,
up
it's
a
like-
pair of right into Beans, the Lotus Path Jin, and the Jeskai Sage.
Yeah, the nice thing, actually, I kind of like there's some synergy going on here that may not be immediately obvious. Because he's got 3 different manifest cards, right? They're functioning as creatures, the right beings and the soul summons, but they also trigger all the prowess.
Yes.
Right, they trigger the prowess on the Sage, they trigger the prowess on the Lotus Path Jin.
Hey, they also are good for Delve if he ends up actually playing the
Sure.
Gurmag Angler and the Sibsig Muckdraggers, although that does feel unlikely. But I do like where Luis is at here. He can certainly move into black if he picks up a black bomb rare here or something, though I think he'd prefer to stay in the blue-white camp.
Yeah, I really like being open when I open the second pack. Like if you open a Fate Reforged bomb, it's nice to not be committed to 3 colors yet.
Yes. All right, so let's see what Luis gets out of this pack.
Icy Blast?
Ooh, there's an Icy Blast. That's a nice one. Let's see if there's anything that
is.
will compete. He's going to look through the rest. There's a Kill Shot as well.
Don't you icy? You just
So-
Icy Blast here, right?
Yeah, so Icy Blast is the most powerful option for Luis, though his
Triggering
deck
Ferocious is gonna be
currently,
tricky.
Yeah, is not abusing Icy Blast. If you can't get Ferocious, Icy Blast goes down a lot.
If it's the second prowess trigger, though, you get enough prowess in there, and
That is very true. I think he's just got to take Icy Blast and
Yeah, I
try to
think so
piece
too.
together after that.
it's not like there's a great blue or white card.
Yeah, Kill
It's
Shot
not even. Yeah.
is decent, but it's not commanding a lot from him.
Right,
and
I'm
he
not even
does
sure it
look to
counts
be
as
aggressive.
good. It's decent. It's
Yeah.
solid, not
Yeah.
spectacular.
Yeah, I think Icy Blast is a good pick here too.
Yeah, not the best Icy Blast deck yet, but he also has 2 packs left, right?
Yeah, I mean he could even be in a different color, right? We could
Right.
see him branch out into red a little bit, pick up a couple of, Bloodfire Experts or something like that, and all of a sudden Icy Blast does nice work. All right, let's see what he picks up out of this pack. There's a Force Away he brings to the front
Tranquil
immediately.
Cove.
And a Cove. Yeah, so not a lot for him here.
That's tricky. I might Tranquil Cove.
You might just Cove it up.
I mean, the Force Away is obviously the better card, but I don't think he has any fixing yet.
He has 0 fixing.
He's
currently.
only, I mean, if he's 2-color, he can get away without having multi-lands, but you'd still like to have them. He's going to Force Away. The thing about the Tranquil Cove, too, because it's a friendly color, it actually has a much higher chance of coming back.
It's true.
There are fewer people who want the friendly color dual lands.
And this is only, what, his second pick, so he is going to see quite a few of these cards
totally
back.
see that card 10th.
Yeah. And Force Away is excellent in
No,
this
it's a
deck.
great trick.
Yeah.
It's premium instant speed trickiness for blue.
So Luis wants to see some Jeskai Wind Scouts start popping up his way, right?
That is absolutely the card he wants. He wants to be evasive, prowess. Well, Jeskai Elder's even better.
Jeskai Elder's great.
Yeah, easy pick.
Great pickup for Luis's deck.
Absolutely. And if he gets enough prowess, he'll want that Defiant Strike, which will probably come back to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Jeskai Elder.
Absolutely. And his curve is nice, too. He's got multiple prowess guys at 2 and the soul summons at 2.
Yes.
His curve's in good shape.
Yeah, so he's got soul summons at 2 and a pair of right into beans at 3.
Yeah.
That he can follow up his
Elder
his
2/3.
either
Yeah.
either 2-drop prowess creature. That is nice.
I like what he's done here.
All right. Let's see what Luis picks up here. Well,
Crippling Chill.
it kind of saved him.
I was about to say swing and a miss.
Yeah.
There was not a card he wanted. I mean, you
take
Road
the patrol, but
is
it's
playable, but it's not exciting.
No,
I mean,
but
he's-
Chill's definitely what he wants here. Although he is pulling
He's
Salt Road
looking
Patrol
at
to
it.
the front. Now, this could
Is
be
he a little creature light?
count discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's
Wow.
interesting. He must feel like he doesn't have enough creatures
He doesn't
and he
have
needs to
very
fill
many.
it in. Yeah, and he also doesn't have any 4-drops, right? Or
Sure.
he has the Abzan Sky Captain and the Lotus Path Djinn. So, yeah, I don't know.
I might have crippling chilled there.
I might have Crippling Chill there too. It kind of the question really for Luis is how he sees this deck playing out.
Right.
Now there's a Warden of the Ives kind of hinting back there
Interesting.
at maybe you want to
He has shown so little interest in red.
Yeah.
He passed Bathe in Dragonfire like 8th.
He's
Go
going to
Skill
take
Shot.
Kill Shot.
Solid.
Yeah. Interesting.
But the last 2 cards are a little more defensive, though. Not the, mana curve prowess smash you deck that...
Yeah, maybe he's just recognized that deck isn't what he's going to have by the end of the draft.
Well, he doesn't
and
have any Wind
needs
Scouts
to-
yet.
Yeah, no Wind Scouts.
He's probably not getting one in this pack. He's down to 1 pack to get sort of the prowess flyer. Ankle Shanker.
And there's a Wetlands
Floating
Sandbar.
around. Bring Low floating around. Nobody wants to be red. Yeah, he can take a Sandbar as a 2-drop. I mean, people have been rounding out their mana curves with the Sandbar ever since Cons came out. I don't like it as much with Fate Reforged because of both the Sultai Emissary and the Jeskai Sage. There's just these really good 2-drops for blocking a 1 toughness creature.
Especially the Emissary.
Right, you don't want to attack into that guy. You don't want to
I
attack
can't
into the
bring
Sage
myself
either.
to do it, no.
Right, so I think that the market for 2-mana 2/1s is just lower than it used to be. All right, take the Crag in case you wind up splashing red. That makes sense here.
I'm a little sad that Soothsayer is still just sort of floating around, but doesn't affect Luis's draft. Yeah, this pack was not amazing for Luis. It was okay.
The top of it was solid.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it wasn't, oh my God, here bomb rare solid, but he got the Jeskai Elder.
And there's that Defiant Strike and his favorite, Whirlwind
Adept. I was just thinking, if you want somebody to trigger the Monstrous on Icy Blast, how about 4/2 Hexproof Prowess?
Luis likes that card?
He does. He played that in the Grand Prix winning deck.
Absolutely.
He named it as one of his 3 real creatures, right?
He did. And he wasn't kidding.
No, he wasn't.
That's the thing. That card is not generally considered very good, but I think it's improved a bit, and I think that Luis knows
And Luis
that.
has liked it the whole time. Monastery Flock here, probably?
Sure.
Yeah, no, he's got a solid collection of blue and white cards. He's got a good mana curve. He's got mostly commons. Right, I'm not
Yes.
sure that the deck has raw power at the top of it. Like the one rare he has is the Icy Blast, which is good but not great in this deck.
Yes.
I think he's 1 4-power creature. Take a Barrage here, right?
Sure. Yeah,
I don't
there's not
think he's
much.
going to play red, but you don't want to get beat by it. You could wind
it
up with
kind of
1
wrecks
toughness
him
creatures.
too. Like
He doesn't have that many 1 toughness creatures. I mean,
Sandbars and
if
stuff.
he gets a couple Wind Scouts in the next pack, then he'll be in danger of getting wrecked by it.
and
Yeah, the red cards are certainly flowing through.
yeah, we've
Fairly
got
late active
the
season.
end of the pack here. I agree, though. We had a chance to watch. Oh, hello,
Wow,
friend.
it came back?
Hello, friend.
Crazy.
Crippling chill. Luis just called it. He's just like, I'll just get it
I'll
back.
get this back.
Plan A.
Oh, the Gainlane did not come back, though. No Tranquil Cove.
No. How
Somebody
worried are
else-
you if you're, let's just say that Luis is only going to play white and blue. How much does he need fixing? How much does he need?
You can get away with 0 if you're 2-color. I mean, we've been playing...
Just like normal draft?
Right, exactly. I was going to say, for years, we've been playing 2-color decks without fixing, or you have like that one uncommon cycle of multi-lands that you'd like to have it. Like, you'd rather have 1 or 2, but you can play 0 if you're 2-color and not feel bad about it.
It does look like Luis is firmly in. He does have a Windscarred Crag that he could use potentially to splash a red card, but he seemed relatively uninterested and frankly hasn't had anything that really jumped out. The Warden
Hasn't really
of the
been
Eye
since
was
the
the
Bathe
best.
and Dragonfire.
Yeah. This deck looks solid so far.
Solid, fine, unspectacular.
Fine. Yeah, all of those things apply.
But I mean, it's got the tools that somebody like Luis Scott-Vargas can easily get 2 wins at this and
Yeah.
give himself a shot to maybe run the table.
Yeah, I really like seeing Luis pare this draft down a little bit, be super disciplined and stick to just the 2 colors here.
Right, well, if he doesn't have the crazy powerful 3-color spells, then he gets to be the consistent player that can punish the opponent for hiccuping on their mana development. Right, if other people are going to have the bombs, okay, that's fine. I'll just punish you whenever you're missing a color.
Yeah. And then, a player of Luis's caliber, as far as technical play goes, he gets to leverage that. All right, let's see what he's got here. Jeskai Ascendancy, Set Adrift, Rush of Battle, Timely Horde Mate is
That
the
is
pick?
not what you want to be first picking. It's okay.
It's just okay. He doesn't have any ways to make tokens outside of the Stand-Step Outcast that I can think of.
Okay, so Jeskai Ascendancy, is that your red splash?
I would say no.
I mean, it's a good card. if you
It
can
is a
cast
very
it.
good card, and he has a whole pack ahead of him, so there is a chance for him to try to make that work, and it can
I
pump
might
up
speculate
your
on
deck.
the Ascendancy here because what's the opportunity cost?
Yeah, the Horde
You're
Mate.
not taking a Horde Mate? Is
Yeah.
Horde Mate even good?
It's just okay.
Right, it's okay at
It doesn't
best.
get back your soul summons.
Right.
Like, yeah,
You have like a couple of 2-drops they can get back if you times out perfectly. Yeah, no, I like the Ascendancy pick here. I don't think he's expecting to run it, but he's speculating. Right, if he gets another couple red cards and a couple red splashes,
and
a
it
lot
doesn't
of
take much.
Crackling Dew.
Ooh, there's an Arrow Storm.
The Aerostorm's not interesting to him.
No.
Not a double
Crippling
red.
Chill.
I guess it's a Crippling Chill.
Gosh, these creatures are just not holding up for him. The Sage-Eye Harrier.
He can't be. Is he so desperate for creatures that he might second pick Sage Eye
He's starting
Harrier?
to get there. I mean, he is going to need quite a few creatures out of this pack.
Wow.
He also got the last Crippling Chill back.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, his creature count is low. But Sage Eye Harrier's, yeah, okay, it was Crippling Chill. Sage Eye Harrier is just not a good creature.
It's just not good
I
enough.
think it's more likely to table than the Crippling Chill.
Yeah, very defensive creature. Quite good in a defensive deck, but not here.
His deck doesn't want to be defensive.
All right. Wow.
Was that a Suspension Field?
It was
going by?
Suspension Field and a Mystic of the Hidden Way.
I was
for
like,
him.
all of a sudden the pack was going by really fast. I think
Yeah.
that's because Luis found what he expects to draft.
Yeah, so
Suspension Field is just great.
He's just got to take the Suspension Field, but he's got to be a little bummed to have to ship the Mystic off because that's
Yeah,
one
it's
of
like, why couldn't they be in different packs?
that's
right?
the kind of threat exactly that he wants here.
Yeah. You can't pass a Suspension Field.
No.
though. The removal
that's a-
does not get better than that.
No, that's a premium card in this set.
You know, his removal suite for a blue-white deck, Valorous Stance and Suspension Field.
Oh, yes.
Couple of Crippling Chills. Like,
Kill
he doesn't-
Shot.
Kill Shot. It doesn't get much better than that in
no,
blue-white.
No. He took the Force away. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
You know, I like
he
his
can
spell
get stuff
suite.
out of the way. He just needs something with relatively high power. Again, the
Even
Jeskai
just
Wind
Jeskai
Scout.
Wind Scout, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Bondkin's not nothing.
Yeah, Bondkin's a fine pickup for him here. It gives him some
That's the
flexibility, another good 2-drop. He doesn't need anything else out of this pack
Yep.
anyway, so
Einok Bondkin.
Einok
Easy.
Bondkin it is. That's a nice pickup.
Yeah, fits the mana curve. It's not quite a Wind Scout for his deck.
No, it is an Icy Blast enabler.
But eventually.
You got to kind of build a
Sure,
project
sure.
out of it, but it does work.
Yeah, I'm with you. He just wants a couple solid creatures.
Yeah. He's thinking Wind Scout, Wind Scout, Wind Scout. Wind Scout. See if he can pick up an evasive threat, maybe.
So was that a feat?
It was a feat of resistance.
Or does he need to take up
It's so
arms?
brutal because he's got all the tricks. Like, this is some of the best stuff you can get.
Yeah.
Feat of resistance is one of the best. It's the best trick in the whole entire set.
Yeah, especially he's already got a Bondkin, so it may
Yeah.
even be free first strike.
Yeah.
And put that counter down.
Totally.
So yeah.
But again, he wants that solid base of creatures to put these things on, preferably with prowess triggers accompanying them.
Right.
And he doesn't have it. He really doesn't.
He hasn't even held a Jeskai Wind Scout in all of cons.
No.
Only prowess creatures got the 4/2. Treasure Cruise.
That's going to be a tough one for Luis.
A Luis Scott-Vargas special.
Yeah.
Isn't he supposed to take Alabaster Kieran,
Yes,
though?
I think he is. Now, the argument for Treasure Cruise, though, is pretty strong. You know, we talked about him having 2 Ride into Beings and a Soul Summons, and also relatively fragile creatures. Like, this is a way for him to reload.
And he's just draw the other creatures. He's like, I could have Alabaster Kieran, or I could have the, 3 cards. One of them will be a creature.
Also, he's LSV.
Right, Treasure Cruise clearly...
He plays it literally in all formats.
Treasure Cruise in all formats.
I mean, not anymore. Up until this weekend. Disdainful Stroke, sure.
Wow.
Why not? Probably won't main deck it, but yeah, nice to have. Oh no, don't do that, Luis.
Goblin Slide?
He pulled it to the front.
Oh my God.
I think he was joking around with us.
Funny.
He does have a somewhat irrational love for Goblin Slide, but this is a pro tour. This is not a a fun draft. Take up arms. Okay.
That'll make some creatures.
Yeah. It also fills that same role. Again, he's just comboing off with the Treasure Cruise.
Yeah. Yeah, his Treasure Cruise in his deck is quite good.
Yeah, he's going to be able to cast it for cheap.
Yeah.
And some, and that is one way that these decks can get ahead, right? Is you have a whole bunch of mediocre, or mid-level, let's just say, spells, and then you have more of them than your opponent, and I can do it pretty easily.
Jeskai Student? It's got prowess.
There's that Rush of Battle still.
It is. He's not a rush deck.
Nah, he's only got 2 ways to make tokens right now, and he's certainly not a warrior-themed deck. So.
Yeah, Jeskai Student certainly upgraded the Sandbar, which may have been in the deck.
Yeah.
No Wind Scout, but solid. And the Harrier did come back. So did the Water Whirl, but he needs the Harrier, I think.
Yeah, I think with all the crippling chills and stuff, he's fine.
Yeah.
Just taking another creature. Gosh, you wish that had 2 power, just somehow, some way. Just give the guy 2 power.
Throw an Erase in your sideboard. So I like what he's done here. I don't know how he was going to get a better deck out of the seat.
No.
I feel like the quality of the cards that have passed through his hands is below average. He never saw anything I would call a bomb at any point.
0.
Good solid uncommons are the best things he ever held, right? Suspension Field, Valorous Stance. Good solid, maybe, I don't know, maybe great, good uncommons is the best that he's held. Given that, I like what he's done.
I do too.
I don't know how he could have done much better than this.
I've actually had a chance to play blue-white in this format 2 times already, which is weird. I had never played it in the whole format leading up in cons.
Yeah, you were wondering if friendly color decks was going to be a thing.
Yeah, and I've played it twice, and I found it good both times.
Yeah.
I was like, this is solid. This has all the tools it needs. You kind of go over a checklist of, does my deck have the ability to take care of these type of threats, does it answer these things, and can it kill my opponent at some point? And I found that blue-white actually does have those options. So I think I like where Luis is at. Again, especially given the fact that he had no real bomb quality cards go through his hands.
Yeah, I give him an A for the way he drafted it, but he wound up with a deck which is like a BB minus.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100% on both of those. All right, for Randy Buehler, I'm Marshall Sutcliffe, signing off from the Tournament Center.